Hey everyone, the market traded in a really narrow range today, just bumping right up against this 570 level. This is the largest gamma exposure level here, this purple bar sticking out. The largest gamma exposure by far for the SPY, the S&P, the Qs, they all kind of look the same. And right below, we've got the zero gamma exposure level that's been hovering around the 565 and 566 area. So these are our two major levels, and you can see it's basically where we've been trading, going out back for the past week or so. We've just been bouncing between this 560 level, tagging that a few different times just above there, and then up into the 570 level, and we've been trading around there. I'm looking for a breakout either above the 570 level or below the 565 level for an intermediate move. Sean, I know you were looking at the VIX as well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that fits into these levels that we're seeing here on the SPY?
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. In the newsletter last night, we highlighted the seasonality in election years, which actually shows the potential for downside between now and late October. But then we're also coming up to the end of the quarter, where Wall Street's often incentivized to kind of close on a high note with all the window dressing that occurs and people trying to play catch up with the fact that it's been a positive quarter. So on the Keltner channels here with the VIX, you can notice the 2-hour Keltner, this lower band is at a 1510. That would imply potentially the VIX dropping a little bit more to that level. Given the track record we see of the VIX respecting this 2-hour Keltner, I don't think volatility is likely to drop a lot below that as long as this holds true. And so that would certainly back the idea that the markets might drop going into October and volatility spikes.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sean. Speaking of volatility, we've got a pretty quiet week this week, just Thursday and Friday. We've got a few economic data points. What I'm particularly watching this week, though, is Fed Chair Powell's speech on Thursday, and then also he's speaking again on Monday. Next week, though, looks to be a little bit more exciting, and this is where the potential for volatility to pick up could really come into play. We've got JOLTS on Tuesday, we've got ISM services PMI on Thursday, and then we've got the big non-farm payrolls on Friday. So keep that in mind as you are positioning throughout this week. Next, we're going to just take a quick look under the hood at several names that we're watching this week. First off is AMD. AMD has this large gamma exposure concentration at the 160 strike, and we continue to see volume coming in at this strike. This is volume today in the 160 contract, and AMD wasn't even trading near 160. It was really more around the 155 level. So this is telling me market participants are positioning for another leg higher in AMD, at least to the 160 level. You can see down here, 20 million positive gamma exposure at that 160 level. And we've got approximately 60,000 contracts here being traded today at the 160 strike. So this is just, reiterating that market participants are very interested in this 160 level. So we're going to be looking at a few different ways to play this tomorrow, potentially into Wednesday for another leg higher in AMD.
Yeah, that's interesting, Anthony. Thanks. I wanted to go back to Apple, which we had actually covered last week. We brought up Apple when it was in the teens. I don't remember the exact price. Maybe we were at like 216 or something right before this move up. And what a nice move that has been. We're almost back to 225, which is zero gamma. And we have this gap here. We've got this glaring target at 235 and maybe even 240 up here. And that's in the face of this, positive total gamma and lots of positive targets, not very much negative gamma. I'm going to go over here to the chart, and you can see that, if we hit 224, about 1% lower, that would also coincide with the middle Keltner channel, and 235 is awfully close to what we see as the top of the Keltner channels, which we have not met yet. So this definitely looks like flag type action to me, and the gamma picture justifies a potential move, back up, potentially $10 on Apple.
Yeah, that's definitely one to watch. Thanks for that, Sean. Next, we are looking at Meta. This is a name that we traded in our community Discord, and we've been discussing it for a number of weeks now. Really strong move off of this 500 level. The thing that really caught my attention this morning is the large gamma exposure concentration at the 600 strike. This would be a huge move from where we are currently trading at 564. And so it looks like volume is coming in between the 565 and 600 level. And so this indicates to me that market participants are positioning for a continued leg higher in Meta. I think this trend line here will hold, and any dips that you see, like what we've had really over the last trading session or two, would make for an interesting entry point. So perhaps tomorrow morning, maybe we'll wait for continued consolidation at these levels. But eventually, I think this 600 strike is going to be the target for market participants.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. Meta looks solid to me as well. The last one we'll look at is Starbucks. So, insert your own caffeine joke here. Looks like the stock is ready for a jolt up to 100. We're right at the zero gamma level. We have positive total gamma and this big gamma cluster at 100. Lots of volume there today too. So that's probably more of an espresso shot if we're looking at how we get there. Looking at Starbucks chart, once again, we have consolidation down after this big move up. Kind of a tail on this candle at at the 95 area, 94, 95. And it looks like to me it's ready for another spike up toward that 100, maybe even 101 area, which is the top of the Keltner channel.
Definitely a number of names to keep on your watch list. By the way, if you guys are interested in accessing our gamma exposure tools and option flow analysis, head on over to geeksoffinance.com. You can also access our community Discord for free. It's definitely something you want to check out when you get a chance. Links in the description below. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.